Right. Welcome back, everyone. So thank you again for joining our free online lesson for today. My name is Nabil Fikri bin Shaizan, and I am an application engineer from Acadsystems. So for today's free online lesson, so I would like to share with you about the new features inside of Inventor 2022. Right. So before that, I would like to say welcome to everybody. So welcome Nasukmo. So welcome Sabri. Welcome Napti for joining our free online lesson for today. So I will proceed. So basically, this is some of the few things that I would like to share with you guys on the new things that has been added, right? New things that has been updated or added inside our Inventor 2022. So some of the things are, for example, one is the fillet. So we have some update on the fillet command. Right, so we have the constraint status. So this is a new features that has been added. So you can easily see which part has been fully constrained, so which part has been not. Then we have the instant properties. So for example, if you have one part which you would like to create multiple copies of it, and each of that particular copies you want to have its own unique properties, unique ID. Right, so that has been added inside of Inventor 2022. And then the most major update for the newest features is the model state inside of Inventor. So this will completely replace the level of details inside of the Inventor assembly, as well as will be introduced in the Inventor part file. So then we have the drawing view, which will add the automation features from the part files directly into this drawing view. And then lastly, there is a new button that has been added inside of the Inventor that will allow you to easily send your part files inside of the Fusion system. Right. So I would like to share with you about the fillet first. So let me change my uh, let me move to my software, the Inventor. Alright, so this is basically the model that we use to share with you about the fillet new fillet updates. So similarly, you can find the fillet command over here, but the new things that have been added for this fillet command is that, so if you drop down, so we have another two fillets, which is the face fillet and also the full round fillet. These two is already been used in the normal fillet on the previous release, but right now in Inventor 2022 separate all of these three into three sections. So one is the edge fillet, the face fillet, and also the full round fillet. So let me share with you first on the full round fillet. So if I click over here, you can see that it is now open as a properties palette. So which means that this properties palette allow me to dock it on any way that I want. For example, I can dock it on the left, you can dock on the right side, and I can even dock on the inside, right? Or on this properties panel over here as well, right? So let's just do it on the outside. So I'm just gonna put it over here. Since we have the properties palette, so we also have the apply button. So for example, if you want to continue with the next part, so we can just press the apply. So if you don't want to stop right here. Now let's try first with the full round fillet. So I'm going to select the face. So one face, the middle face or the center face, and the other side face. So it will create the full round fillet automatically. So if I needed to continue, so I can just simply press the apply button, and it will allow me to continue to apply on the next fillet edges face that I want. Right, so that is the full round fillet. So next, we will take a look at the face fillet. So uh, this will allow you to create fillet on the edges based on two face, right? So for example, if I have two face over here, so one face, second face, so I want to create on the intersection, which is the edges over here. So I can just simply select the first face and the second face, and it will create the face fillet on this the intersection between these two. Right, so I can just press OK, and it will create that particular face fillet. Now, if you take a look at the model tree over here, so right now, each of that particular fillet has its own unique icon over here. So round fillet has its own icon, face fillet has its own icon. So you kind of easily recognize, you can easily recognize which one that has been used on which part. Right? So similarly, fillet, the edge fillet will have its own icon. Now let's take a look at the fillet command. Right? So welcome Ahmad Fauzi. Right, so welcome to our final lesson. Okay, so for the edge fillet right now, so if I take a look over here, it is not only shown as a property fillet, it also show me the extra tablet over here, or extra toolbars over here that I can work around with this, right? So this is basically just a normal edge fillet that normally people will use. So you can just simply choose the edges over here. Now, this toolbar over here will allow you to select between each of the tools that you want. For example, if you don't want to select based on the edges, maybe you want to select loop edge, so you can select that, and it will allow you to select multiple looped edge over here. Now we also have the features, so you can easily select the edge for the features itself, or let's say if you want all, so you can select all of these edges. So everything of the edges will be allow you to create the fillet over there. I'm going to cancel one first, so let's take a look back. So we have multiple option or tool selection that we can use over here. On the above here is that this is where we can select the version of fillet that we want. So the first one will be this constant radius. So all of this line will have the same radius. So, but if I want to have something like a variable radius, for example, I will select this one. And for this case, I will select the variable radius first. Okay, so let me check again. So variable radius, then I can select these edges over here. And this will allow me to select any point that allow me to create individual different types of edges on that particular radius over there. For example, this one, I have select this point over here, and I can control which is the location for that fillet. And here I can control the radius over here. For example, this radius will be 3. So you can see it is 3. This is start from 2, and it's starting a little bit bigger on 3. Let's say this number 2 over here, I want to make it a little bit smaller. So let's make it as 1. So I press 1 radius. So you can see we can apply different types of radius by using the variable radius. Right, so maybe this one I put as 6. That's okay. So you can have multiple types of radius on the fillet edges that you have selected. Right, so that is fillet command. So there are some change on this selection over here. So let's take a look at the next. So let's take a look at the next new features. So the next one is the constraint status. So this will allow you to identify which one has been fully constrained, which one has not yet. Right? So let's take a look back at the Inventor. So I'm going to close this one. Right, so welcome Chi to our freelancer. Right, so we'll continue. Oops, this one. Right, so this one. Okay, so this is the assembly files. So we have multiple. Files over here. So you can see over here. So it's kind of hard to identify which one has been fully constrained, which one has not. Right. So what I can do is that I can go to the the tools over here and go to the document settings. So you can set that your inventor allows to see the constraint state. So you can change on the document setting on this modeling tab, and you can turn on this show constraint state and press OK, and it will show you this dot, this black dot and this empty dot over here. The black dot identified as a fully constrained, while the empty dot identified as unfully constrained. For example, if I take a look at one of these, try to zoom it, so I try to move this around, so you can see you can still move this around because it is not actually fully constrained yet. So you can use these features to identify which one has been fully constrained and which one does not which one not yet fully constrained. Now, the other thing is that sometimes when you try to input, they have some dash line instead of circles. So that actually because the part does not able to compute the model state, whether sorry the constraint status. So what you can do is that you can refresh back. Okay, so before we refresh back, there are other ways that we can use. So one is on the document setting on the modeler, so you can turn this one on. The other ways you can also click at the setting menu over here, right? And then you can go to display preference. You can turn on the show constraint state. So if it does not turn on, so you can go to the display preference, also go to the show constraint state and check to turn it on. So right now we will show you this pop-up message, which will ask you whether you want to recalculate back. So for this case, I want to recalculate back. So it will try to calculate whether some of this has been fully constrained or not. So let's try to make an example. So for example, make another copy of this. So if I drop down, so we have one which is not fully constrained, so it is an empty dot. So let's try to assemble this one. From here, going to make it over here.
Dia nak buka kopi.
Apply. Okay, so I have made one over there, and then I made another flush over here. We'll flush this two face over here and apply. So if I check back, sometimes to give you this particular icon, so instead of okay, let's see here. Try to okay, I think my inventor is me. Okay, so you can see here it is dash line, so I can go back on this display preference and turn it off. And when I turn back on, it will try to recalculate back, so recompute back this state over here. So still as empty because it is not fully constrained yet. So if I add another one to make it fully constrained, okay, then still dash. So if I go back to my display preference and turn back on the show constraint, you can see it is now fully constrained. But it is a black dot, so which means I cannot move this one anymore. Now the other thing is that easily allows you to see whether some of this is fully constrained or not, is that you can also filter out. So you can go to this display preference and show fully constrained only. Sorry, you can hide fully constrained only. So when you hide fully constrained, it will only show you the constraint that has not yet been fully constrained. So the parts that has not been fully constrained. So you can easily work around to make everything is fully constrained. Right. So that is the constraint status. So let's take a look at the next one. The next inventor features is the instant properties. Right. So this will allow you to create a unique ID for same parts which have its individual copies. So I'm going to close this one. And I'm going to take a look at this one. Right. So for example, this so this particular parts over here inside of this SLE. So if I take a look over here, so we actually use the same part files. Right? So for example, if I need another copy, so I can just simply drag, and it will show you over here. Well, this one will be number 1, number 2, number 3, copy number 4, and this one copy number 5. You can see it here. This indicates as number 5. So this one will state at the bill of material as exactly the same part. So right now, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give each of these individual part as its own unique ID. So let me delete this one first. Now I'm going to give this one as a unique ID. So what I can do is that Inventor 2022 allows you to create an instant property. So for example, this one, I right click here and I can go to the instant properties and I can give it its own unique ID, for example. So let's say I'm going to give it as a unique ID. Let's say this ID for this part will be 2022-AC01 and add and press OK. So you can see there are small dot over here which indicate this one has its own unique ID. Now I can give this one by one, and the other 3 over here. But the easy way is that I can go to my bill of materials over here. So this will open the bill of materials, so I can go to my structure. So you can see this unique ID has already been shown over here. And instead that this one actually has its own the I properties, its own unique ID. However, it's still merged as one. So if I scroll down, not yet be shown. So I'm going to give it as its individual. So I'm going to unmerge it. So first of all, I'm going to click at the instant properties, and then I'm going to unmerge this one. So unmerge this, and it will show me this particular unit ID. So all of this part is not set as one into the one column only. It has its own unit ID. If I scroll down, so I have another 3 that has been separated individually. So I'm going to set this one. Let me put this one above. Okay. Let me move over here. So this one also I want to give it a unique ID. So I'm just going to copy the name. Oops. So I'm just going to copy the name over here. And I'm going to edit this one individually. Right. So even though it is the same pass, it now has its own unique ID. So let me set back the numbering. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So I have done. So let me go to this the drawing part over here. Now you can see on this part bob list over here, this now I have updated individually. So each of these parts have its own unique ID. So if I go to my annotate and add the balloon over here, say unique ID, click and continue, click and continue, and you can see even though it's the same copy, it is now has its own unique ID. Right. So that is in instant properties. So the next update on the Inventor 2022 that I would like to share with you is the model state. So there are large thing has been added over here. So let me share with you back. Right. So the model state is almost similar with the level of details. So we can say that it is replace the level of details. So you can see over here that it has its own model states. So if I go into the assembly file, so you can see the level of details were not over here because it is completely replaced with the model state over here. Now, the good things about the model state is that it's not only available on the assembly files, it's also available for the part file as well. So you can see it is now almost similar with the iPart over here. Now, the model states allows to have a link between this and also the features or the parameters over here, right? So you have the link with the features over here, so you can suppress, unsuppress, and also have the link with the properties over here. So which means that I can create multiple versions of the parts over here. So you don't need to create multiple part files. So you can create one file which have multiple versions inside of that particular file itself. So let's try to make some. Let me show you some example over here. Right. For example, over here I have this impeller with 20 blades. So I have created some nodes over here. Right. So I have created the parameters. So right now I'm going to create another version of it, version of this model state. So I can just simply copy, and here I can just rename it. So let's say DSK DSK 011840. So we have the original version of it. So I want to create another version, so I can just simply copy and just rename this one as a new name. So for one, so I can go to the app properties and change the the project over here. Right, so I can change the part number. So this one will be part number 1, the stock number 21, and the description will be the stainless steel turbine with impeller 21 blades. That's okay. So it will change over here, and I can change this parameter from here. It's gonna be 21 blades. Right. So I have one version over here, so I can go to previous version which have 20 blades. So not only it updated over here, this particular model also been updated because it has the link with the parameter itself. Now I can just simply create another copy of this, but that kind of quite tedious work. So another things that you can use with the model state is that you can just simply control via spreadsheet. So you can just create another version of it using Microsoft Excel. Right, so okay, so this is the Excel. So let me enlarge this one. Right, so we have the original version. So we have version number 1. So I'm going to create another version of this. So let's say another 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 version. Remember, part number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This blade over here, so blade number 21, 22, 23, and 25. Right. So you can just simply save and close this one, and it will automatically update it inside this inventor. So I can just simply move and go over here. So almost the same with the iParts, but for this case, it's also allow you to create on the iProperties as well. So the other thing is that you can still use the iPad. It does not actually replace the iPad. So we can go to the manage tab. So you can see that the iPad is still available from here. However, you cannot use model state and iPad concurrently. So if I use my model state, the iPad cannot be selected. So if I use my iPad, my model state cannot be created. So you can only use one of these. Now, the other things, the best thing about this model state is that you can also create another version with this almost the same features. For example, let's say, so part number, okay, so with the 44 blades over here, so I can create another copy. So which will be, let me just rename, with shield. So this one is actually 44, but for this case, I can create another things that I can create another shape or model over here. So when I extrude this one, press OK. So you can see these individual parts, we can create its own unique shape over here. Right? So which the iPad cannot be used. This is some of the basic things that you can use the model state inside of part files. So let's take a look at the next. So the next inside of this assembly files, so also have this model state. So you can select and create your own types of model state over here. So again, similarly, you can go on this model state folder and right click and edit via spreadsheet. So you can select and create your own types of model state over there. Right, so I'm going to close this one. So another thing is that, so for example, if I use 0 unit, right, so you can see that some of these features has been suppressed, right? So the 2 unit have this panel over here. So if I go to 0 units, it does not show. So if I go to the bill of material, I try to find that missing part, so you can see that it is now shown over here with a quantity 0. But if you use the level of details, so that part will not be shown here at all. So that is the things that you can see with the model state. So you can easily see what this version does include, what version does not. So another update also on this model state is that we have the new things on the simplified version. So if you open this simplify, so on this previous version of simplify, you have 3 tabs that you can choose. But for this case, it has merged all of these 3 tabs into 1 tab. So you can easily see which one, which that you need, which one that you don't. Right. So another new thing that have been added, for example, is if you look at this remove features over here, so we have this whole fillet which you can filter. The new things that has been added is the emboss and also the tunnel. So you can select from here. Right. So that is on the features. The other things also that has been included in the simplify is the replace with envelope. So this will increase effectively. So if you want to simplify this one faster, right? So you can just simply use the replace with envelope. For example, if I use the all envelopes, so it will try to select all and it will convert it into blocks, right? So all of this part. But if you want a little bit smaller, so you can go to the each top level component. So it will try to convert all of these top level component assembly and turn it into blocks. So if you want much more critical, so you can go to each part. So each of the individual parts will be changed into blocks as well. Right? For example, if I use this each top level component, so I can simply easily simplify these particular blocks into this particular version. Right? So this is actually basically version 0. So I can choose multiple version. So if I needed to create that particular version. So for example, if I want with the 4 unit, so I can select the model state 4 units. So I can select this, press OK. So you can see it creates something like this. Right? So you can filter out some of these things that you can choose. So that is a little bit on the model states. So let's take a look at the next one. We have the drawing view. So with the new features inside of drawing view, allows you to easily take back some of this annotation from the part file, right? So let's take a look at one of the example, right? For example, I start with this 0. So if I go to paste and try to insert my sample over here, right? So I can add another one here. Now, another thing is that I can select the view over here. Now, this view is taken from this from the part files, which I will show you later. So, for example, if I use front view, and then I go to the gear button over here and include the 3D annotation. So when I press OK, so it will show me, it will take back the annotation that I have made earlier inside of the part file, part environment, right? So how to do this? For example, if I go back to my part file, you see this is the original part files. Now, if I look back at my view, so I have multiple view that I have created earlier. So if I go to front view, so I have front view with annotation. So I have top view with annotation. Now, if you're wondering how to add the annotation on 3D, so you can do this on the annotation panels over here. For example, if I needed to add on this top way on this front view over here, or another dimension over here. So on the annotation tab, select the dimension, select over here, and I create another dimension over here that I can also input a note if I need it. So if you want to create a notes that I have created on the top left here, you can use the general notes and select which is the area that you want. Right? So we have multiple views that has already been selected. So let's go back and create on this one. So want to edit this one, view this one as front view, front. So this one I will double click and select this one as a top view. Go to gear icon, make sure to include the 3D annotation. So this one will drag back the annotation, and I will rename this as a top. So similar with this one. Sub view, include 3D annotation. So, and the ISO as well. So the annotation, shaded, and I'm going to rename this one as ISO. Right, so you can see we can just drag the some of the symbols from this from the original file as well. Right, so not only that, you can also save this one as a sheet format. For example, if I already create this one, then I can right click at my sheet and create sheet format over here. Right? For example, I create A4 dash 4 view, for example. Right, so I can save this one and I can save this particular template. When I try to use back, so if I go into my new here, so I have multiple templates that I can use, which I have done earlier. So which I have saved this one. Right, so by using right click and create this one as a sheet format. Now let's take a look at one of the examples. I'm going to post this one. I'm going to post this one. So for example, this one already has the front view, side view, top view. So right now I can just simply go ahead and create a new drawing, which I can choose which of the template that I have saved or created. So it will automatically allows to reuse back this particular drawing. So let me do this one. Or I can just simply right click over here and create drawing view from here. Let's say A2 to create. So you can see everything has been automatically recalculated back. So the only things that you must do is that when you try to create the view over here, make sure that the name is similar, right? So the front view, so this one have its own front view selection. Then it's able to reconnect. Right, so that is some of these features. The other things about the drawing view is that it also allow you to, for example, share the same lighting. Right, for example, I have this particular item over here, which I have created this drawing view. I want this particular lighting to have the same lighting. So let me just click at this tiles over here. Right. Let me change from here first. Tiles. So I don't need this home. So let me do this one. So we can see. Vertical tiles. Okay, so I believe I accidentally closed that one. Let me reopen that one. Okay. Right, so it's still here. Okay, so this one and the other one. Let's see, so this one. Okay. Right, so I'm just going to show side by side. Now, I can just simply update this view, right? So the lighting, so by just going to the view over here, let's say I'm going to select soft light. So you can see the lighting has been changed. So if I go over here, so the first time that I need to do is that I just need to double click and press OK. So you can see the lighting has been changed. If I go back over here and change to other lighting, so let's say, okay, so let me set the difference lighting. Okay, one light. So if I go back to here, so it will update automatically, right? So you can simply select the lighting that required for you. Now that is for the drawing. So the last one that I would like to share is that you can simply use the Inventor directly send the Inventor file, Inventor part files into the Fusion 360. So to do this, you need to use part file, right? So assembly file or drawing file will not be applicable at this time. So if you want to use, for example, assembly, so you can just save this one as a multi-body parts inside of part files, and then only then you can just transfer into Fusion. So let's take a look at some of the example of how we can use this one. Okay, so we'll close this one and going to open for Fusion sample file. Right, for example, I have this particular files. Okay, so let me share back my screen. Right, so for example, I have this particular files that I want to send into Fusion. To do that, I can go to my environment, and then we have this button which is sent to Fusion 360. You can use this button so to easily send this particular part file into your Fusion 360 account. Right, so just press continue. And this one will allow you to select which team that you want to send to and which project. Let's say this team that I want to send is the ecosystem name, and the project will be on the new project with. I can just upload this file. And when I go back into my Fusion 360, this one will be updated inside of that particular Fusion. Actually, open this one and try to refresh. Actually, you can see the file from Inventor has already been added inside of Fusion, and you can open this file directly into the Fusion 360. All right, so basically that is all of the things that I would like to share with you about the Inventor 2022 new features. So thank you everyone for joining our free lesson. So I would like to end this session for today. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a nice day. I hope to see you guys again on our next free lessons.